nobody sat me down and said, Mom's not going to get better. What we're doing is not to make her better, it's to make her comfortable. And, if they just would have said that to me, I would have had a completely different perspective. But healthcare professionals, they don't do a good job oftentimes of educating the family of where are we at in the process.
Healthcare professionals are an automatic pilot. This is what they do day in
Yeah.
and day out. And it's not necessarily that they don't want to, it's just an oversight
Yeah.
sometimes, or it's a time issue. So,
Yeah,
having
it's
somebody
15
walk
minutes
with
in
you.
and out.
Yeah, in and out is right. So along those lines of being, a family caregiver, you might have to be thinking about the companionship and the socialization,
Hmm.
boredom. You become the person that sits down and listens to dad's stories or reads a book to him or watches the old westerns with him and seriously are engaged in it. And it's not your time to be taking care of
No,
your own bills
no.
because dad does need
Yeah,
socialization.
yeah.
He's lonely.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And for you, the listeners, thank you for staying with us on this journey as we do a 6-part series with the amazing Daphne Davis from Pinnacle Senior Placements. And we're talking about the process of care. Really, are you in denial about a loved one? Maybe you think mom is fine or whatever. So we've kind of outlined the process. And I think we're going to focus now on the family. And I think one of the things that, Daphne, you are so good at is helping families to understand what the expectations are of a family member, how to define those. If are you able to take this on? What is all involved in taking care of a loved one? So, Daphne, welcome back to our final segment.
Thank you so much. I want to start with a story. I recently met with a family where dad is about 85 years old and mom had passed away a couple of years ago. He's living in his own home and this has happened very fresh. 2 weeks ago, got a diagnosis of very advanced cancer in his lungs that's metastasized to his stomach. And he has two daughters. One lives about 5 minutes away, and the other is about 45 minutes away. And this family had literally cold water splashed in their face, and they were beyond knowing what to do, had no idea. So I got the phone call and literally went over there immediately to help them kind of navigate their next steps because they had no one to be able to help dad.
Yeah.
And one of the things that dad's values were is that literally he wants to die in his own home and certainly has that right. And we can make that happen. Um, but it's going through the whole process of what that meant to his two daughters. And one of the daughters was on the phone because she lives 45 minutes away. And the other daughter was sitting in the living room with us. And you could see the stress. The daughters get along just fine, they're sisters, but there was a significant difference in their perceptions and perspectives and sense of responsibility because of 5 minutes away or 45 minutes away. And so, as you're thinking about becoming caregivers as family members for someone, really try hard to be outside of yourself and see the big picture. And this is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I know that I've been saying this a lot through this whole series, but have someone help you through these conversations so that their primary relationship as sister to sister or daughter to dad in this particular story can stay the strongest relationship versus caregiver for dad or adversary to a sibling, someone who starts feeling resentful. So that's kind of a story I want you to think about that happens very, very often. It's not
Yes.
unusual. They have some funding, but remember dad's highest value is to stay in the home. And so I want to talk about how that kind of unfolds. Things that we talked about in that meeting were all of the logistical pieces and the real pieces of what it means to be a caregiver. A caregiver is not making sure that dad has his 3 meals a day
No.
or that he's drinking enough water. A caregiver is anticipating what his needs may be. While I was in the home, I'm watching dad rocking to try and stand up, and he has no voice. His voice is a whisper. And I'm assuming because of the cancer. And so everything stops and we listen to dad, and it takes him a little bit of time. And he's cognitive, he's present, but it takes him time to get his thoughts out. And he needed to just go to the restroom. And all of a sudden, I, as a professional caregiver, immediately stood up, walked over to him, and because I saw him doing the rocking thing of trying to get up out of the chair, daughter who was there, no judgment to her, had no idea that that was what she needed to do to even touch his elbow to help him move forward or to give him the support of not taking the first step when he stands up out of the chair. These are the things that family caregivers may not always know, particularly when you've been shocked with something and you need to make dramatic changes.
Yeah.
Getting to and from a doctor appointment, talking to social workers, talking to the pharmacy. If you go into palliative or hospice care, that's a great avenue to having some of the care management taken care of and some of the details of making the phone calls and follow-ups and, what are we going to do? But there's a lot to caregiving, not
Mhm.
to mention the physical care, the
Yeah.
private personal care.
And Daphne, what you're saying is so important. Like you mentioned things like palliative care. 99% of people don't know what that is. I
Yeah.
know I didn't know what that was. All I saw, and nobody explained it to me as a family caregiver, was they're pumping my mother full of drugs. Why can't she wean off of them? Because nobody sat me down and said, Mom's not going to get better. What we're doing is the idea of care is not to make her better, it's to make her comfortable. And, if they just would have said that to me, I would have had a completely different perspective. But healthcare professionals, they don't do a good job oftentimes of educating the family of where are we at in the process. Somebody like you, Daphne, working with your services are free, could explain those things as
Right.
things come across. And I think that's something that's so valuable to your role in helping families navigate the process.
There's a lot of information and jargon. When I'm working with a family, I mean, I tell them all the time, you call me for any question, anything that
Mhm.
sounds a little off, or you didn't get enough information or a definition of a word, or what does this mean? Call
Mhm.
me. Healthcare professionals are an automatic pilot. This is what they do day in
Yeah.
and day out. And it's not necessarily that they don't want to, it's just an oversight
Yeah.
sometimes, or it's a time issue. So,
Yeah,
having
it's
somebody
15
walk
minutes
with
in
you.
and out.
Yeah, in and out is right. So along those lines of being, a family caregiver, you might have to be thinking about the companionship and the socialization,
Hmm.
boredom. You become the person that sits down and listens to dad's stories or reads a book to him or watches the old westerns with him and seriously are engaged in it. And it's not your time to be taking care of
No,
your own bills
no.
because dad does need
Yeah,
socialization.
yeah,
He's lonely. I mean, that's a
yeah,
piece that a lot of people sometimes can forget about in terms of what it's not just sitting there with him. It's not a presence. It's an engagement.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
and I
that's a
think what you're
lot.
saying, I think also what you're saying too is dad may be in denial that he's lonely, because the TV keeps him company. But
Mhm.
what's going on in the back in his brain is he's not getting the interaction, he's not getting the stimulation. So what happens is there's this fall away quicker.
Yeah, it is. So there's just a lot of things, and when you're working with someone, I encourage each of you to ask those hard questions or to be open-minded to hearing, what does this really mean?
Mm-hmm.
There can also then become financial stresses. We can't maintain this. Somebody might be on FMLA
Hmm.
themselves, family medical leave, and their household is kind of falling apart because dad's now requiring
Mhm.
24-hour a day. There's a lot of things that come into
Right.
being a family caregiver. Along with that, and I hope I've kind of painted a picture that's a little broader in terms of it's not feeding dad lunch. That's not what a caregiver,
No.
does exclusively. The other piece that I kind of want to touch on is what that does to you, the caregiver, and the insidious things that can start sneaking up on you.
Mhm.
There could be things like your appetite is waning,
Yep.
you're not getting as good a sleep. You might become resentful about having to go down to dad's house. Oh, it's my shift. Joe
You're
was there
drinking more
yesterday.
alcohol.
Yeah, things you want to escape a
The
little
stress
more.
factor. Yeah.
Yeah. You find that your whole life revolves around being a caregiver and you're no longer a mom or a dad.
Yep.
It's like, I haven't been to an event with my child in X amount of time. Again, you're more than willing. Your heart is in the right place.
Right.
Your desire is in the right place. But is it the best thing for all family members?
Hmm.
Is this really the quality of life that you and the person you're caring for wants or needs or deserves? With professional care, a lot of the behavioral things can disappear. Your dad is still going to have stress because he knows you're my daughter. You're not a nurse.
True.
Am I supposed to just roll over and do whatever you say? More than likely, you're going to get some pushback just because you're the daughter or
Yeah.
the son. Those are the kind of things to really be thinking about. Your irritability might be increasing, the lack of patience, even for your own family as you go home after your time of caring for someone. You may become feeling like, who am I? Where did I go? I used to do this, this, and this. Or your friends might start saying things to you. Yeah, you've got time for a cup of coffee with me. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, you're not with your dad today. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I've got to go and do this, 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 and this. I haven't had time to mow my lawn. I haven't had time to get to the post office. I need to do some banking. My bills are back paying, getting backed up. And your friends are saying, I'm asking for 30 minutes of your time
Yeah.
just for you.
And the thing that's so interesting is that I remember when I met my husband, I probably laughed, like really laughed for the first time in years. I did not realize how wrapped up I was in my life with caring for mom that I didn't even realize how intense everything was in my world. And all of a sudden, this person came into my life, and I started realizing, this is different. And I started to experience joy. And I had been so disconnected from that feeling that it was like this, wow.
It
It's
just sneaks up on
interesting.
you. Yeah, it just sneaks up on you. As we kind of wrap this up, um, as we think about the decisions that we need to be making
Hmm.
for long-term care, for care outside of the home, for housing changes, we live in a very stressful time right now. And
We
we live
do.
in a time that we don't know more so than ever. We've never known, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And
No,
so
we
I
don't.
encourage all of you to reach out to someone to walk through this journey with you. If you know of someone that, your next door neighbor is going through this, share with them what you've learned through this series.
Hmm.
Let them know that there is help out there. It's a pretty big kept secret, and I am gonna say something a little disparaging. The hospitals, rehabs, social workers, discharge planners, they are so worked right now that they
Yeah.
do not have the time to listen to your story and to help you navigate this. It's not a part of the
Hmm.
regular routine anymore. You're
Right.
trying hard to figure out how to do this, but that's where someone that specializes and has the time and the purpose is to listen to your story and help you make informed decisions. Not make decisions for you, but give you information.
Yes.
Find that person. find the person that can walk alongside with you. And I know here at Pinnacle Senior Placements in the state of Washington, we are here to help you.
And Daphne, that is such a gift that you give every family that you work with, and they are lucky to have you. So obviously, I am your greatest fan. I am so thrilled that you've taken the time to talk about this process. And for those of you that are interested, I don't care where you are in the state of Washington or in the USA, if you're looking for someone in your neighborhood, call Daphne first. She can direct you through NPRA, which is the national association that she's affiliated with. But in the meantime, how do we reach you?
So you can reach me at 855-734-1500, or you are welcome to go to my website, which is pinnacleseniorplacements.com. And I would love to help you find someone in your state to help you.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward again to, if you have any questions, you can also go to Answers for Elders. Daphne has a specialist page, and she has like 100 podcasts on our channel. And she is a great resource for you to check out her content. I know you'll be glad you did. And Daphne, thank you so much for all of this that you've provided today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.